Time for number 83 in my Best Picture Marathon. Best Picture Marathon theme song. Writer David Seidler had a stammer when he was a kid, and when he read that King George VI of England had a stammer, he decided to write a script about it. The resulting film was The King's Speech, produced by the UK Film Council and released in America by Paramount Pictures. The film was directed by Tom Hooper, who had previously directed some TV miniseries like John Adams and Elizabeth I, and would go on to direct some adaptations of Broadway musicals like Les Miserables and the most Jellicle film of them all, Cats. The King's Speech tells the story of Prince Albert, the Duke of York, the future King George VI, who seeks help with his persistent stammer from an Australian speech therapist named Lionel Logue, played by Geoffrey Rush. The prince and future king is played by Colin Firth, who won an Oscar for his performance. His wife is played by Helena Bonham Carter. As Logue treats the stubborn, frustrated prince, the two men end up forging an unlikely friendship. The bulk of the story takes place in England in the 1930s, while Hitler's on the rise in Germany, and the prince's older brother Edward becomes king and then abdicates. Michael Gambon plays his father, King George V, who emphasizes the role of the new invention radio in politics and governing, including his annual Christmas broadcasts. The prince's older brother Edward is played by Guy Pearce, in his second Best Picture winner in a row. Timothy Spall plays Winston Churchill, and Derek Jacobi plays the Archbishop. Most of the film is shot indoors using wide-angle photography and somewhat odd compositions in order to emphasize the constriction that the prince is feeling because of his speech impediment. The production did end up getting to use some of the actual notes that Lionel Logue took during his meetings with the prince. In fact, some of the dialogue is actually taken verbatim from those notes. The King's Speech was a huge box office success, garnering 12 Oscar nominations and 4 wins, including Best Picture and Director. This is the first time I've watched The King's Speech since I first saw it in the theater back in 2010, and I still think it's a pretty solid, enjoyable movie. Some of the history has been exaggerated or condensed for dramatic effect, but the performances are very good, especially from Colin Firth and Geoffrey Rush. But even though I like The King's Speech, I always felt like it was a very safe choice for Best Picture. This is the second year of the Academy's expanded number of nominees, and there were a lot of great choices that year, but personally, I always felt like David Fincher's The Social Network really should have won, and I still feel that way today. But that doesn't mean I think The King's Speech is a bad movie. Okay, only 15 more Best Picture winners to go in this marathon. Next up, The Artist. See you then.